Ladies and gentlemen, would you please put your hands together for the promoter, Mrs. Karen Huckle, the principal referee, Mrs. Sheila McKenzie, and meet director, Mr. Brian Thompson. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome onto poolside, led by Swim England Hertfordshire President Tom Brennan, your officials.
Line up.
Line up.
Single file.
Single file.
Quick march left.
Right.
Left.
Right.
You can go but be back soon. You can go but while you're working. This place I'm pacing round until you're home, safe and sound. Fare thee well but be back soon. Who can tell where danger's lurking? Do not forget this tune. Be back soon.
How could we get out? We let Dad hear our baby worry. We love him so we'll come back on in such a great big hurry. It's in the ways of Viper. It's us that calls the tune. So not very well picked.
Ladies and gentlemen, your officials. And your announcer and commentator for this session is Mr. Ralph Muncer.
And thank you for that. That's a wonderful thing. Now we've made it to the final session of this weekend, and I think we should all give ourselves a round of applause for that. Now you at home can't see this, but the stands are absolutely packed with people, aren't they, stands, yes? Yes, so, well, welcome to session 6, and we've made it to the final session of this first weekend of the Hertfordshire County Championships. And normally here I would be standing here and saying, oh, we've got the 400 free, the 100 breast, whatever. But it's just the 400 free. It's just a real grinding stroke here. 400 metres freestyle. It's a long one, but I'm sure we'll be able to get through it together. So whenever the officials are ready, we can welcome on heat number 1 and start this whole affair. Event 181, the men's 10 years and over, 400 metres freestyle. Heat 1, referee. And we're off 8 heats then of this. Sorry, I've just got some officials here that are telling me wrong information. So 8 heats, not 16, of this 400 metres freestyle, and we're starting off with heat number 1, of course. All of our competitors in this heat aged between 11 and 12, so relatively their first time doing this event. In lane number 1, representing Hemel Hempstead, is James Gibson. Lane number 2, swimming for Cheshunt, is Zach Fellows. Lane number 3, swimming for Hatfield, is William Lockwood. Lane number 4, swimming for the City of St Albans, is Nathan Massam. Lane number 5, swimming for Hatfield, is Oliver Baxterwill. Lane number 6, Callum Dickin from Hatfield. Lane number 7, Ollie Fenwick from Verulam, and in lane number 8, Brewster Parker from Harpenden. And off of the first 100 metres then, we've got Nathan Massam who's leading the way. He's followed by Zach Fellows from Cheshunt and James Gibson in lane number 1 from Hemel Hempstead. But there's still all to play for. This is, of course, a 400. They've done a quarter of that now. And 400 metres, you're thinking about making sure you're finding the right pace for yourself. It's not total distance, but it's not in complete sprint. So you've got to find that good distance, and if you're really committed to that in training, that's what you'll do. But still leading the way is Nathan Massam. He's holding quite a good pace here. Zach Fellows and James Gibson coming into the frame now in the third position is Callum Deacon of Hatfield in lane number 6. The boys now starting to find their stroke, starting to find their good stroke rate, which will mean that they are comfortable, but also being able to have that competitive edge here. It's Nathan Massam. He's been leading from the off, and it appears that he's going to be coming into his halfway stage here, followed very closely by Callum Deacon in lane number 6. And in third position at the moment is Zach Fellows of Cheshunt. All of those boys around the 240, as you can probably see on your screens at home, and of course up on the scoreboard over there. It looks like Callum in lane number 6 of Hatfield is starting to catch up Nathan Massam. Zach Fellows of Cheshunt also starting to as well. Nathan Massam possibly feeling a little bit tired after his good first 200 metres in fact. The gap is closing, and that's what we will see throughout this 400 metres in the 8 heats, which we're here for. Nathan Massam and Callum Deacon doing very well here. Towards the back of the pool then, we have William and James Gibson from Hatfield and Hemel Hempstead. They're trying to pace off each other. It looks like Oliver in lane number 5 from Hatfield is also trying to get in on that. And I don't know if you can see this, but we've got 2 groups appearing. We've got our front 3 leaders, and then we've got our boys and the second group towards the back who are trying to hold on to each other, trying to wrestle each other for the position. But as we come on to the final 100 metres, I believe, we've got Nathan Massam leading the way. Can he hold on? That is the question we've got to ask ourselves here. Callum Deacon doing all he can to try and pull back and win this heat and possibly get a personal best here. All of the boys, personal bests around the time of 5:39 for Nathan Massam to around the 5:57 range. So relatively close together. All of them going to be looking for personal bests here. Nathan Massam, Callum Deacon again battling out here. Just looks like Callum is in front here. Zach Fellows of Cheshunt in lane number 2, still in third position. Towards the back of the pool then we've got William Lockwood in lane number 3 doing very well here, followed by Oliver in lane number 5 as they come on to their final 50 metres. And yes, it's still going to be very close, but it does look like Callum Deacon of Hatfield is going to be winning this heat. He's sprinting away, his last bit of energy, burst of energy, before he touches on the 400. A very reputable time of 4:22.46. Looking at my heat sheet, there is a massive PB, around 20 seconds. Nathan Massam touching second, and Zach Fellows touching third with a time of 5:31.00. Some excellent swims there from those boys. And I think nearly all of those boys got personal bests from their bench time, so well done. Moving on to Heat 2, referee. On to the second heat then of this 400 metres freestyle session. In lane number 1, representing Watford, Alexander Fawcett. Lane number 2 from Watford is Sebastian Letherby. Lane 3 from Costa is Jack Ritchie. Lane 4 from Potters Bar is Danny Foreman. Lane 5 is Benjamin Taggart from Watford. Lane 6 is Mark Evans from Hitchin. Lane 7, Daniel Williams from Cheshunt. And lane number 8, Ratty May from Watford. All of the boys here in a wide age range, 11 years old to 13, with Mark Evans in lane number 6, who is 24. And as we come up to this second turn of this end then, leading the way, it looks like we have some strong swims from Benjamin in lane number 5, Daniel Williams in lane number 7, and Sebastian Letherby in lane number 2. Of course, this can change, but they are our leaders at the 100 metre mark. Around a second and a half in between first and third position. That can easily be made up. We also have a good swim here from Danny Foreman, Mark Evans, and Daniel Williams, of course, in lane number 7. Watford in this heat have 4 swimmers, lane 1, 2, 5 and 8, and they're all doing very well at the moment. Still leading the way is Benjamin Taggart from Watford in lane number 5. Daniel Williams and Sebastian in lanes 7 and 2, looking at each other on opposite sides of the pool, trying to increase the... As we're on the 150 mark, back there. It looks like Danny Foreman as well from Potters Bar is doing very well. He's going to be in battle for third position at the moment, as is Mark Evans of Hitchin. But still leading the way by quite a comfortable margin is Benjamin Taggart from Watford. Daniel Williams just pushing in front here. And Danny Foreman trying to catch Daniel Williams, who is in third position from Cheshunt. A good swim as well from lane number 8, Rafferty May from Watford. And that was the 200 metre mark. So we're over halfway now, ladies and gentlemen. And still leading as we go over the halfway mark then is Benjamin Taggart from Watford. It seems his lead has possibly grown. Sebastian Letherby in lane number 2, also of Watford, is doing extremely well here. He's managed to widen the gap between him and Daniel Williams. Daniel Williams got to be very careful now that Rafferty, Mark and Danny aren't going to be overtaking him. And often it's very difficult to see people on the opposite side of the pool, and therefore sometimes you're not able to pace as well as you may like to have done. And as we come on to the final 100 metres then, it still is Benjamin Taggart doing very well here. His personal best is, let me just check, 5:27.34, that's, sorry, 6:9, that's his entry time. So we're going on for a PB here, that's what we're trying to get at the moment. It looks like Sebastian has solid up his lead in lane number 2, and Daniel Williams in lane number 3 being very good. The closest competitor there is Danny Foreman of Potters Bar in lane number 4. And as we come on to the final 50 metres then of this 400, it is still Benjamin Taggart. He's going to be wanting to think about sprinting now, giving all he's got in order to really get the best possible personal best here. It's going to be very close at the end between Sebastian and Daniel in lanes 2 and 7. It's going to be very interesting to see that. Danny Foreman and Mark Evans in 4 and 6 also racing it out. Mark trying to catch up there with Alexander Fawcett on the other side of the pool in lane number 1, trying their best. But it does look, ladies and gentlemen, like it is going to be Benjamin Taggart of Watford Swimming Club who's going to be coming into the final few metres now. He's going to be getting on for a personal best, and quite a big one at that, at least 10 seconds. And he touches first then with a time of 5:16.92. An excellent swim from him, and personal best there. Battle for second place then, it's going to go to Sebastian Leatherby of Watford, 5:24.48. And then Daniel Williams of Cheshunt just missing out on that by a time of 5:25.20. So very good PBs, especially from the top three there in that race. So well done, boys. As we move on to heat number 3. Heat 3, referee. All of the boys in this heat then, aged between 12 and 14. In lane number 1, we have Hugo Rebachek-Smith from Hatfield. Lane 2, Lucas Hartley from Hatfield. Lane 3, Zach Stacey from Hoddesdon. Lane 4, Callum Cox from Ware. Lane 5, Alexander Culliver from Berkhamsted. Lane number 6, Edward Ormsey from Royston. Lane number 7, George Prince from Hatfield. And in lane number 8, George Grimwood from Bishop Stortford. After the first 50 then, it does look like we've got Callum Cox from Ware doing very well, 33.13 split there, followed very closely by Alexander Colliver from Berkhamsted, 34.04. It's going to be about whether they can find their pace now. That might be around 35, 36 possibly, and see if they can hold that pace throughout this 400-metre swim. I don't know if you can see up in the stands, but you should be able to at home. The spearhead formation starting to form in the pool with lane 4, Callum Cox leading the way from Ware. Alexander Culliver from Berkhamsted turning second after this first 100. And Lucas Hartley of Hatfield in lane number 2 in third position. He's very closely followed by Zach Stacey from Hoddesdon. So there is still all to play for here, and it looks like it's going to be a very exciting 400-metre swim. The middle lanes, especially those on the left-hand side of the pool, that's very bunched up at the moment. Edward Ormsey from Royston doing very well here as well. Still, it's Cox leading the way, Calderbar Lee in second position, and Ormsey taking the third position. Hartley dropping that to fourth, with Stacey in lane number 3 on the way as well. I can imagine now that Alexander has got Callum in lanes 4 in his sights now, trying to keep up with that pace that Callum is holding. But the question is, can he hold that pace up as he comes onto him at the halfway stage here? So it's still Cox first, Camerbore second, Ormsey third, and Hartley fourth. Not a lot in it, about a second and a half, 2 seconds maximum. And so there's not a lot in it at all. It looks like Callum's stroke rate is starting to speed up a little bit. He's trying to get as much energy as he can from the water, as much pull from the water as he possibly can. It's going to be very tight here. It looks like Lucas Hartley in lane number 2 is starting to regain his position in second position. And it's very close between Alexander Coverbill and Edward Ormsey in lanes 5 and 6. We shouldn't discount though Zach Stacey of Hoddesdon in lane number 3. He's doing a very good swim there, as is George Prince of Hatfield. As we come on to what I believe is looking over at my officials here. Final 100 now. And it is still Callum Cox leading the way. Lucas Hartley starting to put on the pressure, as is Edward Ormsey from Royston here. Alexander Coverboard going to try and sprint this final 100 to try and ensure that he does get that second position, but the gap has closed significantly between Callum Cox and Lucas Hartley here, and it's going to be on the final 50 metre. Who has the most energy left to sprint? Who has the most fuel in the tank? Still Cox first, Hartley second, Edward Ormsey from Royston in third. He's followed very closely by Alexander. And as we come onto our final turn here, it does look like Callum Cox is starting to increase the gap and separation between him and Lucas Hartley of Hatfield. It's going to be very tight on this finish as they've got 15 seconds to go. Who's going to be taking it? Does Callum Cox have the energy? It looks like at this moment he does. He's going to be coming into his final 5 metres now, and it's going to be Callum Cox of Ware taking the gold with a time of 4:55.13. Lucas Hartley just missing out there with a time of 4:56.00. And in lane number 5, Alexander Coverboard getting that third position from Berkhamsted with a time of 4:57.43. So that's great times there from all the boys, very close, if not on their PBs. So well done. And we move on to heat number 4. Heat 4, referee. Just a personal announcement. If the lifeguard who took my pen earlier can return it, that would be much appreciated. I'm sure you in the stands know what it's like to have a missing pen. Anyway, in lane 1 we have Joshua Ellis from Hatfield. Lane 2, Ethan Howard from Potters Bar. Lane 3, Jason Ho from Hatfield. In lane 4, Jake Moore of Potters Bar. Lane 5, Dylan Morris of Watford. Lane 6, Cub Madison from Hatfield. Lane 7, William Fawcett from Watford. And in lane 8, William Buckley, also of Watford. Now, there's an awful lot of Watford and Hatfield swimmers and Potters Bar. They're all from the same team here. They all train together, I'm going to assume, so they all want to beat each other. As they've done in training, they're always beating each other there, and they want to beat each other in this race. So it's going to be very interesting how this pans out. But leading the way at this moment after the first 100 is, looking at my monitor, Dylan Morris, 106.61. That's a good time to hold. Cub Madison from Hatfield, 107.3. That's also a good time. And in third position is Jake Moore from Potters Bar. First and second, that's Dylan and Cub, seem to be pulling away from the rest of the pack. So great swims there from all the boys. Jake Moore in lane number 4, doing his best to hold off Jason Ho from Hatfield. And on this side of the pool, on the left-hand side of the pool, William Buckley and William Fawcett, both of Watford. So coming back to that teammate analogy, trying to beat each other, doing very well here. An interesting speed that the boys have picked, but Dylan Morris does seem to be pulling in front here as he comes on to his final, well, halfway stage and final 200. 218.64, I'm sure he'll be happy with that if it was an individual. Cub Madison, second position still, 220.81, so only about 2 seconds in between him and Dylan Morris, easily caught up. Jake Moore in lane 4, still in third position, but Jason Ho has closed the gap there, only about a second, 1.1 seconds in between them at the last turn. Dylan Moore first, Cub Madison second, and it is still Moore in lane 4, who's third. The gap is closing between them. On this side of the pool, then we have 4 boys who are all battling it out to beat each other here. Joshua, Ethan, William, and William, 1, 2, 7, and 8. And we're coming on to the final stages of this race now. Nearly 3/4 of the way through. Only 100 meters to go. Dylan Morris starting to slow down here, taking more breaths onto one particular side. That generally means that one is tired. Cub Madison trying to increase his stroke rate. Dylan Morris still working through the water, getting quite a good amount of catch and pull through that. Jake Moore and Jason Ho doing very well as on the other side of the pool. It looks like the gap between them has gone to only a few milliseconds, possibly 0.3. Dylan Morris seems to be increasing his speed. He's coming onto his final 50 meters now, and it's going to be very tight between Jason Ho and Jake Moore. Dylan Morris's PB is 4:52.03. That's what he's going to want to beat. It does look like if he speeds up a little bit, he's going to be able to get that. He's coming in, the white leg kick, the white arm pull is signifying that he's starting to sprint a bit more as he comes into his final 5 meters now. What is his time going to be? It's going to be a PB. Excellent swim from him, 4:42.6. Well done, Dylan. Cub Madison with a time of 4:46.41, coming in second position. Jason Ho taking the bronze position in this heat, 4:50.19. Excellent swim from all of those boys. So well done there. And we've reached the halfway stage ourselves. Only 4 heats left to go. Moving swiftly on to heat number 5. Referee. The boys start to get a little bit older now, 14, 15, that's the age range which we're seeing in this heat. And in lane number 1 we have Jack Barnard from Potters Bar. Lane 2, Nathaniel Mapley from Costa. Lane 3, George Lovelock from Hitchin. Lane number 4, Jago Derrington from Bishop Stortford. Lane 5, Jake Williamson from Hatfield. Lane number 6, Joseph Sutton from Watford. And in lane number 7, Oliver Blight from Hatfield. This is a bit of a strange way to start the heat. We've got swimmers in lane 2, that's Nathaniel Mapley, and in lane 6, they're leading the way. The centre lane seems to be a little bit behind. Can they catch up? That's what we'll find out soon enough. But Nathaniel Mapley leading the way here from the city of St Albans, 104.74. That's quite a good split for his age. Joseph Sutton from Watford, 105.56. He's in second position. And in third position, we have Jago Derrington of Bishop Stortford. Nathaniel Mapley looking very strong here. I know he's been training an awful lot for freestyle. In particular, his coach informed me. So Nathaniel Mapley. There's quite a large gap between him and about 2 seconds, 2.5 second gap between him and Joseph of Watford. In lane number 4 is Jago Derrington of Bishop Stortford. He's in third position, but that's all to play for now. We've got Jack Bernard on the far side of the pool looking to improve his personal best time. As we come to the halfway stage, and it seems to be still Nathaniel Mapley of the city of St Albans still going strong here. Joseph Sutton of Watford also doing very well. He's still in second position. And Jago Derrington of Bishop Stortford starting to in third. These boys, the top three at the moment, seem to be pulling away from the rest of the group. A notable swim from Oliver Blight and lane number 7, and indeed George Lovelock of Hitchin in lane number 3. So no spearhead in this heat then. It looks like they're all over the place, as one would say. But it's still Nathaniel Mapley at the turn. You know, he's been doing extremely well here. Joseph Sutton now starting to increase his stroke rate a little bit, starting to breathe to one side. That tells me that he's all quite tired. He's getting a bit, he's losing his energy there, but he's still doing well. He's still holding a good pace, and that's what we want to see in a 400. Jago Derrington in lane number 4, starting to catch up Joseph Sutton. That's going to be interesting as we come towards the end of the race. Teammates Jake Williamson and Oliver Blight both from Hatfield in lanes 5 and 7, starting to battle it out amongst themselves. Jack Bernard also getting some of that action in lane number 1. But as we come into our closing stage of the race, it is still Nathaniel Mapley. He's been doing extremely well here. He's starting to lead the way. He comes onto his final 50 metres at this turn. The gap between him has grown significantly. Joseph and Jago, 6 and 4, battling it out here. Jago just looked like he was going to have the edge, but Joseph managed to recover it. And it's going to be very interesting on this turn. But Nathaniel Mapley, my gosh, he's gone all the way over, and he's started to come into his final 25 metres, final 10 metres now. And he's going to be definitely on for a PB here. Whoa, wow, 4:35.72. That's an excellent swim from Nathaniel Mapley. Well done there. Joseph Sutton managing to hold on to that second position, 4:41.53, and Jago Derrington of Bishop Stortford coming in third, 4:43.22. So some excellent swim there. Moving then on to heat number 6, referee. On to heat number 6 then, in lane number 1 from the city of St Albans, Thomas Hooper. Lane 2 from Royston, Ryan Wall. Lane 3 from Watford, Lewis Clark. Lane 4 from Potters Bar, Jack Savage. Lane number 5, Andrew Tembra from Hatfield. Lane 6, Daniel Ord from Watford. Lane 7, Jamie Brown from Stevenage. And in lane number 8, Enzo Lim from Watford. After that first 50 metres then, it looks like Potters Bar's Jack Savage is doing very well here. He's leading the way. He's gone out quite fast, so it's going to be very noticeable if he doesn't hold that pace. Lewis Clark very close towards him, as is Andrew Tembra of Hatfield here. Not much to choose between Lewis, Jack, Andrew, Daniel in this race. It's going to maybe a 4-man race here. We just don't know. And Jack Savage then, after that 100 metres, splitting a 102.64. Very good split for the first heat of a 400 for his age. All neck and neck at the moment. Lewis Clark, Andrew Tembra and Daniel Ord from Watford and Hatfield. All very close here, not letting Jack Savage of Potters Bar getting too far out of their sights at all. Managing to keep up there. We have Enzo, Jamie battling it out there in lanes number 7 and 8, as well as Thomas Hooper and Ryan Wall in 1 and 2. But as we come to the halfway stage, and it's still Jack Savage leading the way here. He's going to split on about a 2:12.9. Very good split there. Andrew Tembrough taking second position at the moment, 2:13.87. And in lane number 6, Daniel Ord of Watford, 2:14.85. It seems like Lewis Clark is starting to turn back a little bit, possibly getting a little bit tired. But here it seems that Andrew is presenting a threat to Savage in lane number 4. Are they going to be able to hold each other off? That is the question. I feel a bit like Shakespeare. Still, it's going to be Andrew who is. That is the question. And he's going to be able to, at the moment, hold off Jack Savage, but it's very tight indeed. There's not much in it at all. In the battle for third position then, we have Daniel and Lewis. Lewis starting to come back, as is Ryan Wall of Royston. Lewis of Watford Swimming Club there. That's a very interesting race on that side of the pool. But coming back to the front then, it is Andrew Tembrough, who's managed to conserve an awful lot of energy, and he's starting to use it. He's unleashing this. He's built up his gap in the last 100 metres. This is quite extraordinary. Jack Savage trying to come back here, but it's going to be very difficult at this moment. The lead of Andrew is increasing as stroke by stroke as they come to their final 50 metres here. In the third position is Daniel Ord and Lewis Clark, trying to battle out between each other, but leading the way it is still Andrew Tembrough of Hatfield. He's on for an excellent time here. He's starting to increase the amount of strokes he's taking, he's starting to sprint, and he's starting to increase again his gap, but it looks like Jack Savage of Potters Bar is trying to claw it back, but there's just not enough ground. And it's going to be Andrew Tembrough of Hatfield who takes the gold with a time of 4:30.89. Jack Savage 5 seconds behind him there, 4:35.48, and Ryan Wall from Royston. That battle was between third place, him and Daniel Ord. Finally, Ryan Wall winning the third position there with a time of 4:37.53. So a very interesting final few heats there. Right, we've made it the penultimate heat then, heat 7, referee. All of the boys here around the 4 minutes, 4:30, we're not on that yet, 4 minutes. 4:30 mark, give or take a few seconds. In lane 1 we have Joel Peterson from Hatfield. Lane 2, James Pope from Watford. Lane 3, Owen Strakosh of Berkhamsted. Lane 4, Ian Shiny from Hatfield, sorry. Lane 5, Lewis Shaler from Watford. Lane number 6, Thomas Jobson from Bushy. Lane number 7, Zane Batt from Hoddesdon. And in lane number 8, James Gisborne from Bishop Stortford. Not too much fluctuation here in the first turn. Zane Batt of Hoddesdon looking quite strong there from my positioning. You've probably got a better view at home. But not much at all in it. It looks like possibly, just by a fingernail, James Pope there. And Zane Batt starting to become our leaders as we emerge through this race. Owen Strakosh of Berkhamsted then coming into the frame also. not much in it between our middle lanes at all. Well, most lanes, in fact. We've still got Zane Batts, he's leading the way. He's closely followed by, and I do mean closely, James Pope and Owen Strakosch. But also Thomas Jobson from Bushy doing very well here. Zane Batts still leading the way, not by much I must say though. Thomas Jobson, Lewis Shaler, Owen Strakosch and James Pope. Now I have a feeling that one of our managers, Anna Baker, is going to come around with sweets, but I'm not allowed to accept. You know, my New Year's resolution. Sorry, Anna. Go away. Thank you anyway, thank you. Anyway, back to the swimming and less about the sweets that are being handed out on poolside. Zane Batts starting to increase his lead here. But not much to play for between any of the positions at the moment. Looking at it, it's still Zane, Thomas and Shayla in lanes 7, 6 and 5 who are leading the way, so primarily based on the spectator side of the pool. Zane and Thomas neck and neck at the moment. Lewis Shaler starting to pull back. Owen Strakosch and Lewis Shaler battling out here with James Pope also trying to get in on that little bit of action there. As we come into the final closing stages of this race then, Thomas Jobson is managing to be in first position. Very small gap between him and Zane Batts. Got it, thank you. As they come on to their final 50 metres then, it's Thomas Jobson managing to hold on here. Zane Batts and Lewis Shaler battling it out for third position here, with Owen Strakosch and James Pope starting to fall behind into fourth and fifth respectively. But Thomas Jobson doing very well here. Zane Batts and Lewis Shaler all to play for there. But it's going to be Thomas Jobson. He's going to be looking for a PB here. Been training a lot of freestyle, I'm told, as he comes into his final 5 metres now in lane number 6. He touches with a time of 4:23.96. Who's going to get second position? Oh, Lewis Shaler just there, touching with a time of 4:28.38, and Zane Batts touching with a time of 4:28.84 in third position there. Just couldn't hold on at that final 25 metres. Clear the pool to the side, please, swimmers. Right, ladies and gentlemen, before we start this heat, I want all of you in the stands to start cheering very loudly when all these swimmers are here. We've made it to the final race of this, I don't know, this gala at the moment, so let's bring that sense of Hertfordshire swimming community together. Thank you. Excellent job, great response, thank you. They're called Small But Mighty. Would you agree with that, ladies and gentlemen? Small But Mighty? Low in number? No? Great. Tough crowd, I guess. Tough crowd. I know, I'm not very funny. I totally understand that. Right. So the final heat then, Heat 8, the timed final. In lane number 8 then, we have Ethan Baskerville from Hatfield. In lane number 1 from Bishop Stortford, Mohamed Zamni. In lane number 7 from Hatfield, Peter Sueska. In lane number 2 from Hatfield, Max Robertson. In lane number 6 from Hitchin, Adam Evans. In lane number 3, also from Hitchin, Daniel English. In lane number 5 from Bishop Stortford, Mehdi El Mazar. And our fastest qualifier today in lane number 4 from Hatfield, Michael Klimaszewski. This is the final of the 400 meters freestyle. Over to you, referee. Now I have to expect, I didn't expect some music there, so apologies for my slow introduction, but anyway. Lots of swimmers here, all of them going to be aiming for going sub 4 minutes. Whether or not that's going to happen is a very different matter. The fastest time, Michael Klimaszewski in lane number 4 from Hatfield, 4:01. He's going to be definitely looking to go sub 4 minutes here. Off to a cracking start then, 27.51, followed very closely by Daniel English and Melly in lane number 5. All of the boys in this time final then going to try and be pacing off each other. They're generally more experienced distance swimmers. They know the tactics, they know what they need to do. They've swum this race before, they know that they need to be hitting, I don't know, a 30-point pace to get a PB or hit their personal best. But Michael Klimaszewski, sub 1 minute there, 57.72. He's joined in that sub 1 minute club. Daniel English in lane number 3. Mendy in lane number 5 and Peter in lane number 7, just missing out on that. The power off the wall as Michael Klimaszewski pushes himself off of the wall, propelling into the length is absolutely extraordinary there. His lead is growing stroke by stroke, and we've got to expect this. You know, this is an absolutely great swimmer who has qualified for multiple British Championships, and I believe he's qualified for something else very recently. So congratulations to him. Daniel English and Mehdi in lanes 3 and 5 doing their best there to try and be in second position here. But all of the boys in that second group, the group towards the back, very close together. Peter Soeska in lane number 7 leading the way on this left-hand side of the ball here. Daniel English managing to pull in front of Manzar in lane number 5. But Michael Klimaszewski doing extremely well here. You know, he just went 1:59.03 on that. That's sub 2 minutes there for a 200. And that's an absolutely extraordinary pace. He's definitely going to be aiming for that sub 4 minutes or 4 minutes indeed. English in second, Manzar in third position. Soeska in lane number 7 in fourth here. He's followed by Baskerville and Evans in lane 8 and number 6. As we come into our final 100 meters then for Michael Klimaszewski. He turns on 3 minutes, 0.77, letting us know that he may be a little bit tired. He's holding still a good pace though. He's holding an excellent pace there. English and Manzar doing their best to try and battle each other, pace off each other. And it looks like Manzar is just in front here. Can English catch up? Can he hold? But Michael Klimaszewski, he's going to be coming into his final 50 meters here. His eyes are on the prize of the 4 minute mark or below. English, Manzar battling it out here. It's going to be very tight on this turn. Let's have a look at these splits then. Not much in between it at all, about 0.5 seconds. But it looks like Manzar is doing extremely well here. He's beating English at the moment. Peter Soeska in lane number 7 in fourth position, but it's going to be Michael Klimaszewski. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's just missed out on that 4 minute mark, but he has won this heat. So well done to Michael Klimaszewski of Hatfield. 4:02.70. That's going to put him in a really good position for the regional championships. Manzar of Bishop Stortford touches second, 4:13.28. And Daniel English just missing out on that second position in thirds with a time of 4:14.11. Some very good times there from all of the boys. And that concludes session number 6, ladies and gentlemen.